An engine fire erupts on a 45-foot cruiser in the Detroit River, forcing a dramatic overnight rescue before the vessel reignited.
We tried to open at 4. We couldn't stand more than 10 minutes outside.
The high heat forcing some outdoor businesses to scale back operations, the latest on the ongoing heat warning.
There's no problem too big for Amin and Soraya to solve.
And a Windsor mother and son team takes on the adventure of a lifetime, and the host of the Amazing Race Canada says their family bond could be the key to $1 million.
CTV News with Stephanie Mazzotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. I'm Sanjay. Maru. Stephanie is off tonight. We begin with a dangerous emergency this morning at a grain farm in Lakeshore. Lakeshore Fire and other first responders on scene at the Agris grain facility, where crews launched a complex rescue operation in hazardous conditions. One of the workers became trapped in a grain elevator. Firefighters on scene supplying the employee with fluids and oxygen during a long and difficult extrication process. Officials tell CTV News they are optimistic the worker will be removed safely despite the dangerous nature of the situation. Turning now to a scary scene on the Detroit River overnight, a 45-foot boat erupting into a massive blaze. 7 people escaped safely, but the vessel was eventually consumed by flames. Bob Belichico brings us the details. Bob.
Well, Sanjay, this is a wild one. So at around 2 o'clock this morning, an engine on a boat caught fire. Now, the occupants on the boat put the fire out, but with a burnt-out engine, they needed rescuing. So once they were taken off board, the fire reignited, and the boat basically floated from the Ambassador Bridge and almost made it to the Gordie Howe International Bridge.
We heard all the sirens and everything, so we were all kind of taking a look, but yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Cody Massender witnessed the early morning blaze as it broke out on a boat in the Detroit River Thursday.
It was pretty wild. You know, we're out here a lot. We don't see much action, so it was kind of cool, but you know, we're glad to see that everyone was okay.
According to the Windsor Port Authority, an engine fire started on the 45-foot pleasure cruiser at around 2:30.
This morning got the call from the Windsor Police that there was a vessel on fire in the harbor.
Harbor Master Peter Barry says the fire was reported to be out before the 7 passengers on board were rescued. Once they were off the boat and safe, the fire reignited.
The boat was burning still out in the river, and the police couldn't get to it, and there was no responding boats. So at that point, other calls were made.
The fire burned intensely, and the boat drifted from the Ambassador Bridge almost to the new Gordie Howe Bridge. It stayed in the middle of the river, well away from shore, but it did cross the international border into Canadian waters.
At one point was only about 120 feet out from the Mistursky fueling station, which is one of the larger fueling stations in the Great Lakes.
Barry says as many as 5 large vessels passed the burning craft between 3 and 4 a.m.
The captain's aware that it's there, but that's additional risk.
A towboat eventually put the fire out, bringing the vessel to shore. Barry also points out Detroit Fire has 2 fireboats, but both were out of service at the time and were unable to respond. LaSalle maintains a fireboat, but it is operated by volunteers.
Without having in the region a standing fireboat, a standing rescue boat in the Windsor-LaSalle-Tecumseh corridor, the potential of something like this could have been disastrous.
In light of the incident, Barry says there should be discussions about a coordinated regional response plan between authorities on both sides of the border, similar to what exists between the 2 Coast Guards.
It needs careful reflection and study, but it needs funding.
So our harbor master tells me that the owner of the boat is on the hook for the towing cost, but it could have been much worse. If that boat had sunk, he would have had to pay for recovery costs, which Barry says could have and would have been in the thousands of dollars. Yikes. Sanjay, back over to you.
All right, CTV's Bob Belichico reporting for us tonight. Thank you, Bob. And turning now to another rescue, one that gave one of North America's most iconic birds a second chance. A bald eagle found exhausted and struggling in the Detroit River is expected to make a full recovery, but wildlife rehabilitators say it's just one of many animals needing help as extreme heat fuels a surge in rescue calls. Here's CTV's Chris Campbell with more. Chris.
Yes, Sanjay, it was an unusual sight along Windsor's waterfront, a bald eagle struggling in the Detroit River. But thanks to the swift response of Good Samaritans and a coordinated rescue effort, the majestic bird now has a second chance at recovery.
Usually known for soaring high above the water, this bald eagle instead found itself struggling to survive after ending up soaked and exhausted along the Detroit River.
We received a call from some community members who had noticed a distressed bird that was in the river.
The bird was carefully guided towards shore before a Windsor-Essex County Humane Society animal protection officer safely secured it and transported it to Wings Rehabilitation Center.
It does not happen very often that we get a bald eagle, for sure. It is actually it was a bucket list moment.
Wildlife rehabilitators believe the eagle, estimated to be about 4.5 years old, likely became waterlogged while trying to catch a fish that proved to be too big.
He lost his weatherproofing, right? So he was... Usually the water will repel off the feathers, but he was completely saturated.
Now recovering in a flight cage, staff say the bird is gaining strength every day and could soon return to the wild.
He's doing well. I think he'll be ready to release as soon as the heat breaks.
The rescue comes during one of the busiest stretches of the summer for Wings Rehabilitation Center. The recent heat has brought a surge of calls involving young birds, rabbits, ducklings, and other wildlife struggling in the high temperatures.
Ducklings and rabbits and lots of birds. It's been the week of the swallows for some reason.
If you do come across wildlife in distress, experts say the best thing you can do is keep your distance, especially with large birds of prey, and contact wildlife professionals rather than trying to handle the animal yourself.
Keep in mind they are large predatory animals. They have very powerful talons, very powerful beaks. So hands off is always going to be the best thing, and leave it to the professionals.
Staff say they'll continue monitoring the eagle's strength, weight, and ability to repel water before deciding when it's ready to soar over the Detroit River once again. Sanjay?
Good to know that beautiful bird is safe. CTV's Chris Campbell reporting for us in studio tonight. And this takes us to our question of the day. Have you rescued an animal in distress? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. On Tuesday, we asked if you are proud to be Canadian. 93% described themselves as very proud. 4% say they are somewhat proud, and the remaining 3% say they are not proud at all. And CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now for our first look at the weather from the top of the Bell Building tonight. Gary, it is hot out there.
Yes, it's very hot. I hate it out here, to be honest. In a jacket and tie, no less. The heat warning, very serious circumstance, which is ongoing, and we are likely to see it extended beyond tomorrow into Saturday. The good news is that we will see temperatures likely get down to 30 degrees for a daytime high on Sunday. That would still be about 3 degrees above seasonal. Showers and thunderstorms working through Wisconsin, headed to Michigan this hour, could infiltrate our airspace, but likely well to the north and behind me and east. Yeah, Detroit is north of us here in Windsor. It's going to be sweltering tonight. The overnight temperature near 30. Imagine that. We'll break down what you need to know as we look ahead to the weekend and beyond just ahead.
Now, yesterday was one of the hottest July 1sts in recent memory, and with the hot weather not letting up, it's having an impact on businesses that operate outdoors. Rico Taco, a popular food truck at the Windsor Eats Food Hall, says it will not open this weekend due to the hot weather, and another food truck near the University of Windsor says it's scaling back its hours to avoid the peak of the heat.
We tried to open at 4. We couldn't stand more than 10 minutes outside.
Now, that was the owner of Patel Pani Puri, a food truck at University and Campbell Avenues, speaking with CTV News yesterday. At 4 p.m., the temperature in Windsor with the Humidex felt like 45 degrees Celsius. My goodness. The business normally opens in the afternoon and operates until midnight, but because of the extreme heat, the owner held off on yesterday's opening until 9 p.m. Even then, it still felt like 40 degrees. The owner says over the next few days, returning to an afternoon opening just is not an option.
I'm gonna have to change my hours. I'm already thinking starting tomorrow, I'm gonna have to reduce it to like starting at 8 p.m. Just because of the heat. I want to make sure that employees can work inside at least. It's gonna be a tough one this week.
And millions of Canadians remain trapped under an oppressive heat dome for a third straight day. In Ottawa, the heat led to fierce thunderstorms last night, which washed out Canada Day celebrations on Parliament Hill, flooding roads and leaving thousands without power. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
And you made it 21 floors. Yeah. I keep myself in shape. I do whole walking with my legs, and I lift weights.
Teresa McCluskey made it down 21 flights with the help of her sons, while paramedics carried Beverly Johnson down from the 6th.
They're just heroes, you know. You have no idea what you use electricity for until you don't have it. And it was hot.
Residents of this high-rise describe a scary situation when the transformer blew.
Rain was everywhere, like hitting our windows like crazy. It must have been hail too, because I heard the chunks. And then one big blast, and I'm telling you, smoke covered the air for about 20 minutes, and it looked like the whole main floor was on fire. And then we looked down, the water was just coming up.
Water went right up to the ceiling in the basement.
No word on when the power may be restored.
I didn't sleep, but because I was stressed. It's a matter of insurance, right?
Have they been responsive, Mike?
I couldn't get a hold of them.
We believe this was one of the worst flooding events in our city in the last 25 years.
Ottawa's mayor says there were 1,900 calls for flooded basements alone from right across the city, and crews have to be careful.
The basement flooding caused by this event has created dangerous conditions, and it's preventing hydro from re-energizing many homes at this time.
Dehumidifiers and fans flying off the shelves.
We put some sandbags down, tried to block it, then came inside and there's like 4 inches of water already there. It just backed up from the sewer, yeah.
With 118 millimeters falling in Ottawa and extremely hot temperatures hitting the wider region.
Really, the focus of the heat is mostly in southern Ontario, southern Quebec, and the Maritimes.
For most of the eastern part of our country, where temperatures are higher than 30 degrees, they're not expected to dip below 30 until Saturday. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Swimming is not recommended at 3 area beaches. High levels of bacteria have been recorded at Colchester Beach, Holiday Beach, and Lakeshore's Lakeview Park West Beach. The health unit says E. coli counts are well above 200 and more than double at 2 of them, posing a risk to public health. The 3 eastern beaches on Lake Erie have been given the all clear. 19 charges have been laid following a home break-in and vehicle theft in Windsor. Police say the suspects entered an open garage at a home on Riverside Drive East in the early morning hours of June 23rd, stealing power tools, credit cards, debit cards, and a vehicle. Investigators say the stolen credit cards were later used at several local businesses. The vehicle was recovered the next day on Oak Street, where one suspect was arrested. A second arrest was made June 28th on Hickory Road. The suspects, ages 56 and 42, remain before the courts. A 4-month-long construction project on Malden Road in LaSalle is getting underway. Hydro One crews plan to start on the west side of the road near the Cahill Bridge and move south. The work begins with the installation of new utility poles before hydro lines and other utilities are relocated. Drivers should expect intermittent lane closures and delays, particularly during peak travel times, although one lane is expected to remain open in each direction. The town says the project is part of a broader construction program that will include bridge improvements between Cahill Drain and Morton Drive later this month. A new entrance and updated layout is being planned for Devonshire Mall. The former Hudson's Bay store is facing demolition. Primaris Real Estate, which operates the mall, says it has taken over the vacant department store space, but instead of bringing in a new tenant, the plan is to tear it down. The company says the old Bay building will be replaced with a redesigned mall entrance aimed at improving access and the overall mall layout. That makes Windsor different from other former Bay locations across the country, which are being sold off or leased out. Construction timing has not been announced. Well, the scorching heat did not stop Windsorites from celebrating Canada Day. Thousands lining Olette Avenue, waving flags and cheering as the annual Canada Day parade rolled through the heart of the city. A mother and son team from Windsor will be racing for $1 million and bragging rights on the new season of The Amazing Race Canada. Ahead of the season premiere this Tuesday on CTV, we spoke with longtime host John Montgomery, who says the pair's family bond could give them an edge when the competition gets tough.
We're a mother and son team
from Windsor, Ontario.
They share a bond that I will never be able to truly appreciate from the mother's perspective. But I did send it. I know how much she means to me. And to watch a mother and son, I think Soraya is maybe the second oldest racer that we've had on The Amazing Race Canada. And watching them both run the race with a level of proficiency, mental acuity, and capacity to solve problems, I think is why they're in business together. Because there's no problem too big for Amin and Soraya to solve. A mom knows how to encourage her son. You know strengths, you know weaknesses, you know triggers. You know the subtleties of their body language and where they are emotionally. And so I think that kind of insight allows a mother and son team, or a team with that perspective, to be able to support each other in a really special way, to get the most out of their partner. And I think mothers and sons have that capacity.
It's a test of strength.
You're so close.
Skill. Stamina.
The workout.
And it's the adventure of a lifetime, all across the country.
Right off the hop, right on the top of Whistler Mountain, an element of gameplay is introduced that we have never seen before on The Amazing Race Canada. It definitely changes the way that the first 5 legs of the race unfold.
And the next season of The Amazing Race Canada kicks off this Tuesday at 9 p.m. and continues every Tuesday thereafter on CTV. You can also stream episodes the very next day on Crave. Do you have an idea for a great story? Contact us at 10400. You can also send photos and video. A miraculous rescue still ahead on Windsor's News Leader. A person pulled from the rubble in Venezuela alive after being buried for 8 days. And later, 5 confirmed cases of whooping cough in Windsor, Essex. What the health unit wants you to know about possible public exposures. Buried alive for 8 days, a man has now been pulled from under the rubble left behind from the earthquakes in Venezuela.
Perfecto.
That was the survivor waving his hand 2 days ago, signaling to rescue crews. Now rescuers have pulled the 43-year-old security guard from the rubble alive. The rescue ends a grueling days-long operation that became a symbol of hope after the devastation of twin earthquakes that rocked Venezuela last week. Crews from Venezuela and Chile, as well as the Costa Rican Red Cross, joined forces to perform this remarkable rescue. The man was trapped under a shopping center since June 24th. A West Coast pipeline remains at the center of tensions between Alberta and BC. Prime Minister Mark Carney says the oil tanker ban on BC's north coast will remain in place, even as Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is set to speak about a potential route. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more.
This is a historic day.
It's a multi-billion-dollar deal between the federal government and British Columbia, but the real impacts will be felt in Alberta as that province plans the path for a potential pipeline.
That today's Canada-BC agreement will maintain the federal North Coast tanker ban.
That means any new pipeline from Alberta to the BC coast will have to follow a southern route. It could be parallel to the existing Trans Mountain pipeline corridor to the Port of Vancouver.
We have anxiety about the impact of any new pipeline project, period, on British Columbia's coast, which is why in this agreement there are very clear safeguards in place around spill protection.
That anxiety was also being felt by First Nations communities in northern BC.
This has not been about blocking Alberta's access to oil markets. This is, and it always has been, about keeping this special place free from oil.
Environmental groups also applaud maintaining the tanker ban, but some are still concerned about the whale population if it means an increase in oil tankers at the end of a southern route.
You can't buy noise-canceling headphones for orcas. We need to protect them by
preventing an increase in tanker traffic. And it's not just the noise, it's the potential for a spill.
Today's agreement with BC will also include $3.5 billion in federal funds for the North Coast transmission line to get electricity to communities and projects in northern BC. There's also $500 million to boost copper production out of the Red Chris mine. Now, there were a number of questions about the state of Alberta's pipeline proposal, and we could get some answers when Carney holds a press conference with Premier Danielle Smith later this evening. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
World Cup fans in the U.S. are suing ticket reseller StubHub, accusing the platform of failing to deliver the expensive tickets they bought on the secondary market. Fans claim they did not get what they paid for because StubHub never delivered their tickets. The proposed class action was filed Tuesday. The lawsuit seeks at least $5 million U.S. for thousands of people in the U.S. While StubHub offered refunds, fans say that was little comfort since they were already stuck with airfare and lodging costs. StubHub has yet to comment. And hotel demand in Vancouver and Toronto has been softer than expected during the World Cup, with occupancy down in both cities compared to last year. BNN Bloomberg's Lindsay Biscaya looks at whether some of that demand is flowing into short-term rentals instead.
From the skyline to the suburbs, Toronto and Vancouver have been seeing an influx of visitors during the FIFA World Cup. Airbnb has been one of many companies looking to capitalize on the tournament's tourism boom, offering roughly $1,000 to new hosts.
We want to make sure that the cities have flexible and expandable places for people to stay.
Hannah Parrish with Airbnb Canada says ahead of the tournament, demand was up 80% year over year across all host cities. In Vancouver and Toronto specifically, Airbnb is reporting 4,000 new listings on the platform between October and April.
What we're actually seeing, though, is also this is not just one person coming. It's going to be a family coming.
Airbnb says Toronto is its most affordable city. 77% of listings available during the tournament are under $400 a night. In Vancouver, meanwhile, roughly 60% are below $500. But as Airbnb looks to expand its footprint, some say short-term rental regulations may stand in the way.
The bottom line is that we didn't see the demand that one would have hoped to see with an event like a World Cup soccer in Canada.
Short-term rentals in Toronto are restricted to a host's primary residence, with a cap on how often the home can be rented out and how long one visitor can stay. Vancouver's laws are similar, but they sit under strong provincial rules.
53% of people say that they stay in a neighborhood they never would have before. If they hadn't rented an Airbnb, they would have been stuck to a zone that only has hotels.
If the short-term rental market can't meaningfully expand during a tournament like this, then who in the broader real estate market actually benefits? One expert we spoke with said maybe no one.
You can't make the economics work. You can't make the numbers work. I think it's important to understand, even though we have more U.S. tourists coming to Canada right now, which is a benefit, we just have too many of these small units that can easily be rented as Airbnb. And I didn't ever thought I'd actually say it. I think it's not a bad idea to start renting some of them for Airbnb.
5 in red in the middle, Ronaldo!
When Cristiano Ronaldo came to Toronto Stadium for the Portugal-Croatia knockout match.
The star power is not with the team, but with the player. People probably are not as fascinated about Portugal as they are fascinated about Ronaldo.
Hayter calls it the Taylor Swift effect. It's the kind of economic boost Toronto saw in 2024 during Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. And it's that kind of economic ripple effect that Parrish believes could play out again. Whether the World Cup ends up being a win for local real estate markets is something that can't be measured by packed stadiums alone. The answer will only come once the tournament is over and the numbers are in.
Team Canada's highly anticipated next game is set for Saturday, but today the players spoke to the media. Here's CTV's Andrew Johnson.
In the Houston Heat, Canada's head coach is keeping practice light ahead of an historic match against one of soccer's modern giants.
We want to make the most of this opportunity. Maybe from the outside, people are writing us off or saying that we're the underdog, but
we don't look into that as at all. Like, we want to go into every game trying to win.
They're hoping to create more moments like this when a late Stephen Eustachio goal against South Africa in Los Angeles launched the team and the country into their first World Cup round of 16.
To kind of give the country that moment and unite the country like we did with that goal was special for us, and I think it pushes us even more to try to give them more moments like that.
Standing in the way of Canada's dream run are the 2022 World Cup semi-finalists. The Moroccans are heavy favorites, superior at almost every position. Canada will need to perform at a level greater than the sum of its parts.
We're very group orientated, and knowing that we have a guy always behind you to help, we're going to need to be together against this team.
The match Canada would have played at home in Vancouver with a better result against the Swiss last week is tonight at BC Place. Switzerland meets Algeria in the round of 32. The Algerians are the underdogs, but their fans have already come out in force. Swiss fans in Vancouver may just be happy they're not back home, where the European heatwave has forced yodelers to perform in fountains. The winner of tonight's match will play in the final game here on the West Coast next week before the World Cup's conclusion in the United States. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Strength in the technology sector helped Canada's main stock index move higher. In Toronto, the TSX gaining 110 points. In New York, the Dow adding 595, the Nasdaq losing 207. The Canadian dollar is up 0.15 of a cent. And on commodity markets, gold gains more than $43 an ounce, while oil is up 11 cents a barrel. Coming up, a dangerous veterinary tranquilizer is surfacing in Windsor, Essex's illegal drug supply, raising serious concerns for those on the front lines.
Brendan Ellis, thank you for your shot. Blue sky and trees. The air quality hasn't been bad, but it hasn't been great, and that's in part due to the stagnant, hot, humid air. Will we see some relief this weekend into early next week? I'll tell you about it next on CTV News Windsor.
Beautiful day as always, but it is hot out there. Gary joining me again for an extended look at the forecast. Gary.
I can tell you being outside in a jacket and tie is uncomfortable. As you can imagine, it is still sweltering and we are in the orange. That means that the probabilities are high. It's imminent. It's likely to take place. And obviously it is, and the impact for all of us is high. So heat stroke, heat exhaustion continues to be an issue. Unofficially 36.3, put an asterisk next to that value. It felt like about 46. It's close to a record, but we'll wait and see in the next 24 hours if that's declared. That's not the most important thing. Now, air quality has fluctuated. It's been between a 3 and 4 today. It's a 4 right now. It could be closer to a 3 in the next half hour. We'll wait and see. The winds picking up does help. Temperatures between 33 and 35, a mixture of sun and cloud this late afternoon into the early evening. It feels like about 44 to 46 between Windsor and Essex. Chatham-Kent about 44. Rondo Park about 44. You get the idea. It is sauna-like outside. And Southern Ontario is the hottest part of the country. Our great country, of course. And we're still looking at temperatures in the mid-30s for tomorrow. Friday could be just as hot. The worst weather is well to our west, cutting right through the heart of central Wisconsin with thunderstorms. Could that track towards us? I think there's a slight risk of that. The worst case scenario is the ridge of high pressure that's kept us relatively quiet breaks down a bit. And there's a chance of that late tonight into tomorrow morning and then again for Friday afternoon. Here's the breakdown for our 7-day forecast, courtesy of our good friends at Enercare Sales. I'm calling for a slight chance of showers, thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. A high of 35 feels like 47. The warning, the heat warning that is, likely to continue into Saturday with a temperature of 31, feeling like about 38. Sunday, 30. Showers possible. Showers Monday, Tuesday. We need the rain. Temperatures about 30 to 31. And then upper 20s as we head towards Wednesday, Thursday with some sunshine in store. It's still hot through the weekend.
The Windsor-Essex County Health Unit is warning residents about possible public exposures to pertussis, also known as whooping cough. So far, 5 confirmed cases have been identified. Health officials say anyone who visited Erie Migration Elementary, the TMC Urgent Care Walk-in Clinic in Kingsville, or Word of Life Community Church in Ruthven during the listed exposure dates should monitor for symptoms for up to 21 days. Early signs can resemble a common cold, but the illness can develop into severe coughing fits and breathing difficulties. Babies under 1 year old face the greatest risk of serious complications. Anyone who develops symptoms after a possible exposure is urged to stay home and call their healthcare provider before seeking medical care to help prevent further spread. A veterinary tranquilizer is turning up more often in the illegal fentanyl supply in Windsor-Essex, raising concerns for frontline harm reduction. The Welcome Center Shelter for Women and Families says medetomidine has been detected in street drugs over the past several weeks and months. Harm Reduction Program Coordinator Anastasia Adams says the drug, which is not approved for human use, can leave people heavily sedated for long periods and cannot be reversed by naloxone because it is not an opioid. She says users may appear unconscious but continue breathing, making overdoses harder to recognize. Adam adds, call 911 if someone has shallow or irregular breathing or cannot be awakened after several minutes. Well, as summer temperatures soar, experts say electric fans can help keep you cool, but only up to a point. Fans work by speeding up sweat evaporation, helping the body release heat. But when temperatures climb above roughly 32 to 35 degrees Celsius, especially in humid conditions, fans can actually add to heat gain. Health Canada recommends keeping indoor temperatures below 26 degrees for adults over 60 who are at greater risk during extreme heat because their bodies do not cool as efficiently.
Coming up on What's Up YQG, we're going to talk about the Awe Summer Nights.
No, I just finished drawing of you.
Does that look like me?
Yeah, I think so.
It looks more like the Joker.
That's pretty good.
Stay tuned for details.
If economic uncertainty has you tightening your summer vacation budget, you're not alone. New research commissioned by CTV News shows a growing number of Canadians are looking to cut back on vacation spending this summer. CTV's Garrett Berry has more on the numbers and what it could mean for tourism destinations.
Am I a very fancy guy?
Summer arrives like a starter's gun in St. John's.
You just wake up in the morning, you throw the covers back, you put your feet on the floor and you start running.
Suddenly, there's cruise ships, patios, a pedestrian mall crawling with visitors. In short, money to be made.
Brought on a new tour which has taken off really well, which is a haunted pub crawl that we offer 2 nights a week.
But among the hustle and bustle of a tourism season, a warning bell. It seems more Canadians are cutting back on vacation spending this year. A poll conducted by Nanos Research for CTV News shows 43% of Canadians are planning to spend less on summer vacations. That number has been growing, up from 31% in 2015. If the slowdown comes, you'll see it here at restaurants like Rabble in downtown St. John's. Restaurateur Todd Perrin says food businesses take what's left over after hotels, airlines, and gas stations take theirs.
There is only one way to go on a boat tour to see a whale, is that you get on a good boat and go out and see a whale. But there's 1,000 ways to have a bite to eat.
St. John's has become a big summer tourism destination, but restaurants in particular have struggled since the COVID-19 pandemic, and money needs to be made now to survive a long winter.
You know, customers are like fish in the water. Like, we need to get as many of them as we can. And, you know, they're all worth a certain amount of money. And, you know, maximizing that is hugely important in the times of year when they're there.
This city has lost several restaurants over the past 3 years, owners unable to navigate the boom and bust of the tourism economy. Tour operator Pierre Trowbridge says he's not seeing any slowing so far this season, but if it does come, he'll navigate that challenge. Just one more part of a seasonal tourism business in Newfoundland and Labrador. Garrett Perry, CTV News, St. John's.
Turning now to our weekly segment, What's Up YQG, with Johnny Parks from our sister station 89X and our own Melanie Kentner. Melanie, you're featuring a new summer series with Art Windsor Essex.
Yes, the perfect time to launch the Summer series. Now, Johnny, are you a little artistic, or what do you think?
Yeah, no, I always liked to draw growing up, made some comic books that my parents didn't exactly approve of. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. We're actually here with Laura from Awe to tell us about the first Sip and Paint coming up.
Yeah, tonight or this summer at our Windsor Essex, every Thursday night will be open in July and August to do summer nights. So some of those events are Sip and Paints, like Johnny mentioned.
That sounds amazing. Now, I'm not a great painter myself, so are there lessons involved in this?
Yeah, there will be an educator to help you, for sure.
And is it the kind of thing where everybody does the same painting, or do we all get to do our own piece of work?
You'll be guided through the same piece of artwork, but you can absolutely do your own flair on it, use different colors, paint something different, just enjoy yourself, yeah.
And is there anything else you'd like to highlight that's included in the event?
Yeah, so if you don't make it out for the Sip and Paints, because they are they're going pretty fast, we do have every other Thursday night of the summer. You can come back. Windsor Eats will be here, so you can grab a cocktail. They'll also be bringing food. Johnny, I know you like hot dogs.
Big fan. Any hot dogs going on? Oh, hey, all right.
Exactly. You can see the exhibitions, and you can drop in the studio, bring your family, go for a date night. It's whatever you choose.
And how can we get tickets?
Oh, you can check our website at artwindsoressex.ca or on Eventbrite at Art Windsor Essex.
Oh, sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Laura, and I wish you all the success for this event. Sounds like it's going to be a fantastic time. Now, Johnny, there are a few other events we have to talk about going on this weekend, including another carnival.
Yeah, Essex Fun Fest is coming back, so it's kicking off today and going through until the 5th, I believe.
My kids love that one.
Yeah, so good.
And there's an outdoor concert series going on in Leamington.
Epic Eagles tribute. That is going on at the Sunset Amphitheater on Saturday.
Maybe let's sing a little Hotel California.
Yeah, you should probably let them do that, for sure, for sure.
And there are 2 shows at the casino this weekend, too.
It's hard work and sacrifice, living in an Amish paradise.
Yeah, I can't wait for this one. Weird Al is going to be at Caesars on Saturday, and then you got the Derek Huff going on Sunday.
Yeah, so from weird to normal and everything in between. So much going on. Thanks, Johnny. Thanks, Laura. And that's What's Up YQG.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Get ready for the 37th Annual Essex Fun Fest. It's coming July 2nd to the 5th. Enjoy 4 days of family-filled fun and excitement you don't want to miss. See you next time on Our Community.
And as we do about this time, let's check in on what's happening now. And today, I'm joined by Chris Campbell in the newsroom. Chris, you have more information for us on how to help wild animals during these hot days.
Yeah, that's right, Sanjay. It's not just us suffering in this blistering heat. The rescue says it's also taking a toll on wildlife across the region. The Humane Society and Wings Rehabilitation Center say they're seeing more calls involving animals suffering from the extreme temperatures. They're encouraging residents to leave fresh water and shade available for wildlife whenever possible.
We obviously know it is very hot right now. We are experiencing heat warnings. Fresh water and shade are kind of the best things we can do for tackling wildlife heat exhaustion. So if you are able to leave fresh, cold water out, that is basically what we would recommend.
We've got those details and more online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And Chris, I understand we also have a story online about a unique map being created for Kingsville.
Yeah, that's right, Sanjay. A community effort to map trees across Kingsville is already exceeding expectations. More than 3,200 trees on municipal property have been logged through the Rooted in Kingsville project. Volunteers are collecting information on each tree, species, size, and condition to help guide future planting and management. Organizers hope to present the completed map to Town Council later this month. And in our social spotlight tonight, a jaw-dropping moment at one of the most iconic buildings in the world. A masked couple scaled the antenna on top of New York's Empire State Building. They were seen waving a peace banner for about an hour. The man then got down on one knee and appeared to propose to the woman. They eventually climbed down and were arrested.
Chris, I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, I'm afraid of heights, and that's bravery on display. What about you? Would you ever do something like that?
I don't think so, yeah. You and me both in the height department. I know I'm tall, but I do not like heights, so I'm not really even sure what to make of that couple there over the weekend.
Yeah, if you want to get married, just stay on the ground and just do what Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are doing and just stay in New York on the ground, you know? That's what's happening now. Thanks, Chris. Coming up, Canadians coast to coast grabbing buckets and drums yesterday, all with one goal: to break a Guinness World Record. The Canadian flag blowing under the sweltering heat. Gary, you've got a final look at weather for us.
Looks like temperatures, Sanjay, will still be in the mid-30s tomorrow, which means the heat warning is likely to be extended, not just for Friday, but we don't see temperatures subsiding a great deal on Saturday. Technically, what we're looking at is a minimum of 31 degrees Celsius. For a daytime high, for a low 21 degrees Celsius. I think we'll meet that for Saturday and then technically be below that threshold for Sunday. Scattered showers, thunderstorms this evening, again for tomorrow. But the critical situation is that even though we may see a drop of that warning on Sunday, temperatures will still be at about 30, feeling like about 36 to 38. It's still going to be warm, and we don't have to be in a technical warning to, of course, heed the advice of health officials, which we should be doing, staying hydrated, cool, and of course comfortable.
And considering how hot it was yesterday, hard to believe so many people gathered for the Canada Day parade in downtown Windsor yesterday. Of course, Canada Day celebrations held all across the country yesterday, including a musical event in 40 different cities. It began in Prince Edward Island as part of an attempt to break a world record. CTV's Maru has the details.
It started slowly with a steady beat, then faster, building into a drum roll. Islanders banged on buckets from home and whatever they had on hand to make some noise.
I think it was cool. It was really in sync, which I really liked that.
Coast to coast, more than 40 cities joined in, trying to beat a Guinness World Record already held by Canadians. In 2021, 581 people performed a drum roll online at the same time. This year, the goal was to top that number.
My fingers and toes are crossed. It would be so amazing to be able to say that we've done this.
The world record attempt was only one part of the celebrations, and for some, it was a moment to pull together.
Especially now with threats from all over the place, especially what's going on with the United States, that we're Canadian, we're standing up, we're proud, we're one unit.
In Charlottetown, Canada Day is never far from history.
This is actually the birthplace of Canada, right here in Prince Edward Island.
The program reached beyond that one beginning, with Mi'kmaq culture featured from beaded jewelry to educational books.
It's important to have Indigenous people at the forefront because we were the first people of Canada, and kind of celebrate and uplift our artisans.
Alongside those deep roots, newer communities were part of the picture too. Food vendors served flavors from the Philippines, Jamaica, and much more.
I'm Canadian and I'm also Nigerian. I like trying foods from both places.
Through the drumming, different voices found one shared rhythm.
Organizers say Guinness will confirm whether the record was broken later this week, but the attempt wasn't just about a world title. It was a way to bring people together to mark Canada's past, present, and future in unison. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
And you were telling me during that piece, Gary, how beautiful PEI is. I've never had the pleasure of visiting. I understand you have.
Yes, and I'd like to go again. This was back in 2009, just driving around the island. It's relatively small. It's the smallest province. But, of course, it's great to see Canadians coast to coast and, of course, north to south engaging in what makes us come together. Unity is very much a part of our descriptor. Yes.
And I can't wait to visit when the heat goes down, of course. On
That's a
behalf
good
of our
idea.
dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you so much for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Carlisle, Fizette, and Gary will be back with your only late local newscast at 11.
We'll see you then.